here. Giant blob is what most people would assume is a burl. And I would too, except I noticed these dashes across the tree, which suggests that this could be one of two things, birch or cherry. And when I got here, I noticed there's leaves, and that's going to make this easier. So I'm going to crush one of these leaves and smell it. And what I get is a cherry smell. Maybe pretty subtle, but one that's familiar to me. So that keeps me from harvesting that, hoping that it's what's called chaga. And chaga grows on birch. And it also grows on cherry. But when it grows on cherry, it absorbs what makes that cherry smell, which is cyanide, and it concentrates it. So you have to really know what you're looking for. And cyanide, as you know, is deadly. So you could get very sick eating the wrong thing. I could tell pretty much, even from a distance, that this wasn't chaga. But I still had my excitement to contend with because it was so big. I wanted to come up here and make sure. Especially because it looked like we were on birch. Now, having seen that, over here, on my way up, I noticed this tree. And I'm not so much of an expert that I can tell just from the bark whether this is birch or cherry. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to scratch some of this because I don't have leaves or twigs in this case to smell. And if you could smell this with me, you'd smell root beer. And that's what you get when you scratch black birch, as this is called, or sweet birch, of which if you've had birch beer, that's originally what it came from. And it smells just like root beer. Because what this has isn't cyanide, it has methyl salicylates. And the methyl part makes it smell minty, or like wintergreen. And the salicylate actually is what's in aspirin. So originally, aspirin came from this tree and from willow. Willow doesn't have the methyl part, so it's not as fun to smell or to make root beer from. So what's cool about birch is not only is it highly anti-cancer, but it's also a gourmet edible. It looks pretty much like that big burl. You'd never imagine you could eat it. And it's as hard as that burl is too. But if you can, with a hammer and chisel, break it down to where you could grind it like coffee, then you can brew it like coffee and it tastes like mocha. And I've served it that way, and I've served it in desserts, and I've combined it with reishi, another medicinal mushroom, and I call these all chocolate tea or ice cream, and both gourmet and medicinal at the same time.